Oh God, yeah.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another incredible session with my beautiful, beautiful sidekick, Maxine Palmer. Max, we've just been having a right old laugh offline.
I think we pressed record just at the wrong minute, didn't we?
So Maxine has decided that I look like I'm in Baywatch today, so I'm just going to do running along the beach, ladies and gents, running
just for your admirers.
Yeah, there's a lot of admirers coming out of the woodwork at the moment.
There'll be all that quick screenshot, won't there?
Ladies and gents, before I go any further, if you haven't gone and watched the new moon video for September 2021, please go and watch it. The reason me and Maxine are having this conversation, it's extremely prevalent for the energies right now. They're very flirtatious, lots and lots of excitement and joy, and flirtation is going to be coming to your door if you are single. And obviously that's what me and Max were just talking about. So please, please, please do go and watch that video if you have not already watched it. And please do remember to like, comment and share on this video as and when you see fit. Maxine, my gorgeous babe, you look like some Greek goddess today over there in your summer dress. And
got to get them out.
Oh, I love it.
Before they go in the loft.
Action going on.
I was sweating like a pig. I had to literally peeled my clothes off, frightened the neighbours, dug out the old summer dress.
Yeah. See, I just want to manage expectations. Actually, I probably should have done this offline, but my Wi-Fi is a little bit intermittent today. On 2 of my calls, it's literally just died and then it's come back in. So if we do get cut off for any reason, just stay and we will come back. But I've got my double doors open on my balcony and there's so many planes that go overhead. So if you can hear background noise, I really apologize. This morning I was doing a video, they were streaming. I mean, the gardens here are beautiful, but it's not the point. I'm like, shh, I'm doing a video, and of course you don't want the doors shut on a day like today. And then I had a row of blue tits just arrive on my balcony. Honestly, I'm like, they're feeling the vibes. Lucy's happy with home.
Oh, that's nice though.
Oh, it's so nice to be settled, Max.
Yeah, finally. How many places have you been to? And finally you get one at 2:22.
I know. For any of you that don't know, I actually picked up the keys on Friday. And I was saying to Maxine just before we came on here, I grabbed my phone to take a photo to send it to like my mum and my dad and Maxine and a few people like that. And I looked and it was 2:22 and it just flicked over to 2:23. And I was like, of course it did. Of course it did. Of course that was exactly what was going to happen. So I am finally in my own place. I'm going to be here for a little while until I basically get nudged by the universe to move on. I've done really well, actually. I'm quite on top of things here. There's a few bits that I need to organise, but I feel so settled already.
Oh, it's brilliant. Finally. You needed it. You desperately needed that place.
Yes.
And it's the right place. It must be.
And you know what, I'm so happy here. Like I was just like earlier, I'm so happy here because bearing in mind I was supposed to be in a 3-bedroom house, you know, to be in a 1-bedroom apartment is such a huge shift, but I'm like, this is all I need. Like it's perfect and everything is working out the way that it needs to, and I just feel really settled. I've got lovely neighbours. There's a really attractive man that lives across the way from me.
Save him for when I come up.
And you will love it when you come down, Maxine. You will absolutely love it. So we'll have to get that organised. But I'm finally grounded. You know, I feel.
Well, you wouldn't have wanted that house just in case the bathroom fell through to the kitchen.
Yeah.
You haven't got any of that, you see.
Exactly. How is your bathroom, babe?
Well, the bathroom is still there. The kitchen has a hole in it, but you know. So the plumber came out.
Yes.
And unglued the tap that the other guy had done. And when he checked the hot tap, he said, oh, it's a good job I came because that one's just about to go as well. And he said the damage that would have been caused from the hot tap would have wiped out the entire ground floor. So obviously people were sending me messages, weren't they? Get that fixed. So he took it all apart, put brand new taps on, and the floorboards have now dried out. So we can peel the floorboards away from the ceiling. But there is a big hole. But the builder came and he was quite good actually, because I am going to have a new kitchen. So I don't want to spend a lot faffing about with that because the whole thing's going to be ripped out. So he's just going to put some plasterboard up, obviously fix the floorboards, just with some temporary ones. But he said I was really lucky. Where the tap goes, it literally goes into the kitchen and hasn't knackered all the joists. So it's going to be about, I don't know, 50 quid.
Oh, Max, I'm so pleased for you. Please, can you start listening when you get signs?
Yes, yes. And it's all to do with water. Every problem I have is to do with water. So yeah, gotta listen now.
Yes, please do.
How lucky was that? If it had gone, if the hot tap had gone, would have ruined the whole of downstairs.
Yeah.
So yes, everybody's in and out the bathroom going, oh look, you see the kitchen. Great. So it's quite funny now.
It could be a lot worse. One of you could have been downstairs and it all could have collapsed in. Like there's so many other scenarios that could have taken place, Max. And I'm so glad that you got it sorted, because that was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, last Tuesday.
Literally last week that all of this was happening, because we had to postpone filming on Monday, and then we had to film on a different day, and then you had the builder coming, so we had to cut off at a particular time. Like it's been a really hectic week for you, bless your heart.
I'm surprised I still have stairs, the amount of people that were going up and down the stairs.
Yes.
But no, it's done now and it's safe. So yeah, he said no more damage will happen, because we needed to try it out.
Yeah.
And luckily it was the cold tap. So they were the signs people were sending me, our beautiful spirits, because I could have lost the whole lot.
And this weather that we're getting at the moment, this like nice hot weather snap's really going to help you get that sorted with drying and everything. Right? Get
it dry.
Really
but we've got used to it now. With the hole in the ceiling, it's part of the kitchen. But he said as soon as it's dried out, he's just literally going to plaster it.
Or anything?
Sorry?
Can you see anyone when they're in the bathroom?
No, because you can only see from the kitchen. You can just see the back of the bath and the taps. But I can see into the kitchen because I can see the fruit bowl. And Sophie was washing the pots the other day, and I went, all right, love. And she went, shut up, Mum, have your bath. And I is sticking my hand out.
Oh my gosh, you're so funny.
Oh, it's good in this house.
Just imagine if somebody didn't know, though. Say if you had a visitor and they
were
like,
I'm going to do that.
I'll go and pop it in the sink, and you were upstairs. Oi,
I'm going to do that. Yeah.
They've not been in here.
I'm waiting for somebody. Like the guy who comes to read the electric meter, I'm going to invite him in and then just stick my head through the bathroom floor. All right, love, don't add too much to my bill. It's a party trick.
Oh, I love you. Honestly, it sounds like it's going to be a fun household until it gets fixed.
My neighbours never move.
How much looking, babe, until it's done?
How much what, sorry?
How much more time until it's going to be sorted?
He's going to come again on Sunday afternoon to check it. If it's all dried out, he's going to do it on Sunday night.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job. That's really cool. I'm so pleased, Maxine. I'm really, really pleased. And talk to me about what's going on at the post office. Have you been there much this week, or have you been out because of this stuff?
No, I'm there every day.
Right. And how's it been?
It was a lot busier last week, because obviously everybody's selling on eBay to pay for their school uniform.
Of course.
And so, but we had a lot more children in because they were going for their lateral flow tests. They had to go on Friday to be able to start Monday. Most of them went, a few didn't go.
And is the lateral flow where they spit on it?
No, it's the one up your nose and in the back of your throat.
Yeah.
But you can do those at home.
Right.
So it's throat and nose, and then you get a little thing, you have to put it in the liquid, and then you pour it onto a thing that's got a QR code on.
Okay.
So some are doing it at home.
Right. Why would anybody go to school to get it done when you can do it at home?
Yeah, precisely. Especially that school, because that headmaster's come back. You know, Dirty Dancing guy. Yeah, he's back. I'm looking forward to seeing him. Yeah, God.
You mean the man who accused you of stalking him?
The man, yes, who accused me. I don't know what he means at all. I really don't.
You really want to hope that he never listens to one of my videos. See, I told you. She says she's what I do.
It's her. And she's got a friend as well. Yeah, well, when you come to the post office, we'll go to school.
Oh, yes, let's.
I'll show you the bush. We can jump out the bush together.
Take a day of it. Let's be naughty when I come up. So,
because he will literally pass out if he sees two of us.
Oh, brilliant. Let's do it.
I bought my friend.
Yeah. I'm coming to get you, mate. We're coming to get you. Have you got any weird goings on in your school?
I'm waiting for an update from the boss of whether he still comes up to the shop at night. You know, when the kids finish school.
Yes.
Yeah, because I said if he does, I'm doing 4 o'clock tomorrow when they come out. Yeah, I said I'll do the hour shift, 3 till 4, so I can see him. Can't wait.
You're so funny.
Honestly, vile man.
Thank you.
I'm just going to say, welcome back. Here's to a good year. Yeah. And just frighten him that way.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Because he's really small. He's probably smaller than you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's tiny. How he got the job, I do not know. Yeah.
Wow. I'm surprised he doesn't get picked on by the kids.
Well, I think he has done previously, which I think is probably why they gave him the job.
Yeah, I'm just remembering what we used to be like at school. Like, I was never horrible or picked on anyone, but people did.
Yeah.
You know, particularly boys. Boys, you know, if they see somebody who's short, of course, it's the quickest, easiest way to wind them up, right?
But there, to be honest, if you say one word out of turn, you're in detention or you're in isolation. Because they have a whole isolation. I call them isolation booths, but it is actually a classroom and you just sit there.
Wow.
Yeah, and they actually employ isolation teachers now, and they have done for a few years, yeah, who literally sit in a room and wait for kids to be taken to isolation.
Wow.
The reason I know is because George was in there several times. Because he takes after his mum. So if a teacher said something that he disagreed with, he'd say, I don't agree with that. Or he'd say, mate, isolation. And once you've been in isolation once, the teachers tell the rest of the teachers, you're in isolation continuously. And it was only when he then moved up to the next year, I went and said, right, this is my son's classroom, not the isolation booth. So can we try and teach him something while he's here and not keep popping him in there?
Yeah, right.
And so he went, the last 2 years, he wasn't in there at all.
I find that quite sad, actually.
It's very sad. It's a prison.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with that. I mean, I don't know obviously the ins and outs of it, and obviously children do need to be disciplined. I do understand that, but I'm not sure I like that approach.
No, the fact that, I mean, I don't know how many years ago it is now. God, it's got to be 10 years. They employed teachers, isolation teachers. I work in the isolation unit. And now I used to work at Rampton Hospital. I worked at Mapley and Rampton. Now that is a prison. I mean, Beverly Owlett's still in there, although she's probably due out soon. And they had like a recreational room, and then everybody had their own little booths that they had to go into to be searched before they went in their rooms. That's what this reminds me of.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, that's how bad it is. And to just say, I don't agree and get in there is, wrong.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting times. It's almost like they've been prepping us for many years blindly about what's going on now, right?
Well, I think what it is before a teacher could throw the blackboard thing at you, blackboard cleaner at you. Well, which is what I used to get.
But yeah.
Well, I used to get that all the time. Because the guy behind me used to throw things at the back of my head. Oh yeah, we have the cane, but then they stopped that because it was called child abuse. And so instead of that, they gave you an isolation booth. Not sure which is best.
Is it?
But the thing is, if he threw that at me or anybody in the class, we stopped being naughty and the rest of the lesson was peaceful. Mm. But you send somebody out to the isolation booth, then you go, oh, you're off to isolation. Well, so that's the rest of the class disrupted.
Yeah.
So either way, it's wrong.
Yeah, it just doesn't quite sit right with me. And not that I know the answers or that I'm, but it just doesn't quite sit right with me. It feels a little bit weird. Feels a tiny little bit weird. We'd love to know
the only class
on that.
The only class that didn't go into isolation, and none of the pupils ever have, is rural studies, which is your gardening, your animals, growing your own vegetables.
Why?
Not one of them ever went into isolation. And I checked, because I check the stats in there quite a lot. Yeah, nobody in there's ever gone in there.
You literally are a stalker, aren't you?
I am a stalker, yeah. I really am, yeah. I investigate the most insane things.
You come out with it, yeah, I quite often check the statistics on that, yeah, quite often. And it's like, and you wonder why this guy is a bit nervous around you.
I am the uncomplicated crime watch. That's what I'm calling myself.
I love that uncomplicated.
We've changed it from stalker.
I love that so much, Maxine. That's absolutely brilliant. So what's been going on at the post office? Has there been much going on? I know you said it was busy.
No, not really. Just no.
Or
I haven't had any weirdos.
weird
Oh no, we have got a new guy coming in who's absolutely beautiful. He started training at the physio next door, and he doesn't speak a great deal of English, but he is the friendliest, nicest guy ever. He comes in with a smile every day. I can't pronounce his name. He did say his name. And you can just about say mine. But you can't help but stare at him because he's always got a smile on his face.
It wasn't Ricky, like all the others.
No, good Lord, because my sandwich man's Ricky. And Bob's supposed to be bringing my water this week, and he's gone on holiday, so it's going to be Ricky. But Bob's message said I can't have my water till Friday. Due to a shortage. Because I only like Highland Spring, you see.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, I can bring you all this other one. I don't want to do that."
No.
So I've got to wait till Friday.
The water stores are. I mean, I should have shares in this company as well. The amount of people that I've told to drink this water. The water stores are really, really depleted right now, and I am sure it's because they want more people drinking tap water because it's got so many nasties in it. I'm sure you know me.
Well, because they're picking everything they possibly can to do it, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because Master Plan 1 didn't work. Master Plan 2 is not working as well as planned. So hey, bugger it, drink tap water.
Yeah, and you know what I'm like when I get these feelings, they more often than not end up happening, right?
Yeah.
Even just the thing that we were talking about before we came on air.
Yeah.
There's horses. Sorry.
On your balcony?
Literally walking down the road.
You're going too far now.
I'm like, I'm in heaven. Literally, I didn't expect to see horses walking down here. Interesting. Sorry, little distraction there because I heard the hoops and I'm like, what? I'm actually going horse riding tomorrow, Maxine.
Oh, I love horses. I can't ride, but I love them.
Oh, I see. I used to compete at quite a good level. I used to be quite good when I was a bit younger. And
I'll send you a picture of me riding a horse, right? Okay. You will see how bad I look and how uncomfortable it is.
I'll send you a picture of me jumping on my last horse. Honestly, it's amazing. I love it. And I went running the first morning I was here. I went running and I found a cross country course. And I used to compete in cross country, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to jump this course. I literally need to jump this course. I need to get me a horse and I need to jump this course. So I've got that real. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to meet a man, something to do with horses or something. I don't know.
One never knows.
They're all coming out the woodwork right now,
aren't they?
I'm open to receiving. I
have a tick list in my journal.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So have you had any weird packages or just this beautiful man that smiles a lot?
No, absolutely no weird packages at all. And to be fair, in the last week, everyone's been quite smiley.
Oh, good.
Haven't had any miseries, and everybody's been, oh, good morning. Even when it was raining and cold, they weren't bothered, because obviously they predicted there'd be some sunshine today, because they do that in the post office. Have you seen outside? It's raining. I have massive windows and a door, but I always go, oh, is it? I wasn't looking, just to make them feel better, So I get a lot of weather up there. Because on Saturday I said, I really need to mow the grass. You'll be all right on Monday. You'll be able to do it Monday. I said, all right, okay, I'll book myself in. Yes, great. But yes, everybody was sort of really happy. But I have had people coming in asking if we sell masks. In the last, so when would it be? So today a lady came in because she was going to the physio next door. Now, none of them wear masks. The physios don't wear them when they're out in reception. So I said, I don't think you need one for next door. She said, I've just been in and they told me I need one. I said, well, they need to provide you with one.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's getting quite flustered. So I went round to the physio and said, look, you've just been in my shop to get your lunch without a mask, and this poor lady here needs one. Or so you're telling her. Oh, we can provide her one. And I thought, well, obviously you didn't when she came in earlier. So there's this whole, because they don't have to wear one. And obviously in the treatment room, if they need one, although they never wore one before. But people are sort of picking and choosing at the minute with their whole rules, which I'm not liking. Yes, because I went to a coffee shop Friday and they didn't want one at all. Nobody wore one.
I feel there's a shake-up coming as
Oh
we've
yeah,
known anyway.
yeah,
But I really feel as if there's a shake-up coming at the moment, and people are not sure as to what's going on right now. And what's
yeah.
very, very interesting, Maxine, is I actually travelled into London on Saturday, and I went to see some friends for lunch, and it was extremely interesting. On the train, next to nobody was wearing it, all ages, nobody was wearing it. On the underground, however, so many people were wearing it. I was really, really, really quite shocked and surprised.
It's still a train, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
I think it's a fashion statement, actually. Not for
Yeah,
everybody. I do feel there is a lot of fear porn, right? But I do feel that there is a lot of people that wear it because maybe it looks cool, or
yeah.
maybe it, I don't know,
Look
maybe
at me.
spot or something,
Yeah,
like we just don't know what it is. But I'm finding it extremely, extremely interesting that it's a choice now.
yeah.
You are choosing to do that. And for me personally, I link wearing masks on a day-to-day basis with China.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know
without a doubt.
and
See,
certain
I have people come in
countries.
who wore a mask all the way through, and then when we were told they didn't need to, they felt, oh well, it's for other people. Fair enough, that's fine, my love. But when you come in my shop and there is no one else in there, and I'm sweating my bits off behind the plastic, please don't wear one, because you actually make me gag, because there's steam coming up, they can't see out the glasses. So this lady came in, and she came in with the mask today. I said, right, not being funny, but can you whip it down? And she said, well, they're telling me I need to wear it. So I said, who's telling you? She said, well, if they keep saying it on the news. I said, well, I haven't watched the news, but I would know if somebody had said that. I said, no, I think you're thinking back, because I thought, oh God, I hope she's not got dementia or something. And I'm saying, they're all loonies. So I said, look, when you come in here, you don't have to wear it because it's so hot. And I'm behind this plastic, look, doing one of those funny dances.
Yeah.
And she said, yeah, but other people, they look at me funny. I said, then don't look at them. Take your glasses off, don't look. I said, because you're steamed up now and you've still got to walk home and stood up a hill. And she went, oh, I don't think I'll wear it again. Bugger me, 20 minutes later, she came back in, still wearing the mask. She'd walked up the hill in it.
But this
So she's indoctrined with it.
This is my point. Isn't it sad how many people are so fearful now that they're going to get told off or whatever?
Nothing to do with the illness.
No.
Nothing to do with catching the illness. It's the fact that somebody may say something to her and she can't cope with that. And that is what is wrong.
It's so
it's awful. Yeah. Because I said, the minute you take it off, people will stop saying things. But she didn't believe it. So it's going to take me a bit of work with her. Other people have come in and say, well, it's only right that I wear one. Nothing to do with the illness.
I actually feel that if you asked people that wear masks now, I don't think anybody would say it's about the illness. Well,
no.
So really interesting. I actually had to go for some blood tests today. And as you guys know, I'm not going to hide anything from you. As you guys know, I had the virus back in July. And then I had, I was pretty much 3 weeks late with my period. So I decided to pay and go and have some blood tests done because my doctor said, come back in 3 months. And I'm sorry, but when you want to have a child, not necessarily tomorrow, but when you want to have a child, you need to make sure that
just disappeared.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ladies and gents, apologies. We just had some interruptions on the Zoom. So we're just going to go back to the beginning of that conversation. So I had to go for some blood tests today. And basically what happened was, you guys know, I want to make sure that I'm on top of my hormones. The doctor was like, oh, come back in 3 months if you don't have one. So I was like, do you know what? I'm in a fortunate position where I can afford to go and get some blood tests done. So I decided to pay for a set of hormone tests, like hormone balance tests. So just a suite of those. And I went and had the blood taken today. And what was very interesting is they told me before I went to the appointment, I would need to take my own pen and I would need to take a mask. And of course I was like, yeah, I'm exempt from wearing a mask. End of story. I arrived there and the lady has got a mask on and a visor. Now, bearing in mind...
Is this at a clinic then? Is it like a clinic that you went to? Yeah.
So bearing in mind, here in the UK, I'm actually just going to have a quick look at what temperature it's saying right at this precise moment in time. It's 29 degrees at the moment here in the UK. And this lady was in her normal, obviously, nurse's outfit. She had a mask on and a visor. So she comes out and she's like, oh, hi, Lucy. And I'm like, yep, you know, obviously says my full name and whatever. And I'm like, yep, that's me. And she's like, do you have a mask? And I said, no, I'm exempt. And she said, are you sure you just couldn't put one on? And I said, I'm still exempt. And I was shaking my head and I thought, she ain't going to take my blood. Like, she's literally not going to take my blood here. And I was thinking, seriously? Like, what the hell? And then she like looked at me and I just said to her, she said to me, but I'm going to get very close to you. And I said, as long as you're okay with that, I'm okay with that. Bearing in mind, she had a mask and a visor on. And she was like, and I said, genuinely, I feel I'm going to be okay. Like, as long as it doesn't make you feel uncomfortable. And she's like, oh, okay then. And she beckoned me in. Anyway, I could sense she was super judging me at this point. Okay. She's literally there going, this selfish person won't put a mask on, you know, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, obviously I'm typically myself. I'm sending love out and I'm just asking question after question after question after question, because I'm trying to gauge as to where this level of fear has come from. Now, obviously, she's a nurse, so she's going to have had the fear porn, you know, and all of the noise from the NHS or the private clinics or whatever. And I get that. Like, I really, really do get that. And I respect that completely. But what was so fascinating is, like, I obviously shared with her that I had it at the beginning of July, and I explained what had happened, and she was like, oh yeah, I've actually heard that a lot. So she was like, and good for you for taking the time and spending the money to get your tests done, you know, good for you. And I said to her, have you noticed any shifts? You know, have you noticed any shifts in the kind of clients that you're getting or the kind of tests that you're doing? Because this fascinates me, right? I love it. I'm all about health. I love it so much. And she said to me, it's a really interesting question that you asked there, Lucy. She said, a lot more people are coming in and paying for private blood tests. And I was like, oh, that's fascinating. Any tests in particular? And she was like, nope, all sorts of different things. And she said, actually, now you've mentioned it, people are looking after themselves better. They want to know that they're okay. It's almost like they are checking to see that everything's working perfectly. And I said, do you know what? What a beautiful, beautiful thing to come out of this situation.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
By the time I left, she was like touching my hand. She was loving me. You know, she was like, oh my gosh, it was so lovely to meet you, Lucy. Honestly, I hope I don't have to see you again because it means I'm going to have to take more blood, she said, but it's been so lovely to connect with you. Now, when she was, I think the only word I can use is scolding me with her eyes when I said that I wasn't going to put a mask on, I could have easily had a reaction at that point. And this is why I wanted to share this story today. I could have easily been like, screw you, mate, I'm going to go somewhere else. Like, I've paid good money for this. But I could see the fear in her eyes. Like, it's literal to her.
Yeah.
So we must embrace this. You know, a beautiful conversation. Like, literally, she touched my hand as I was leaving with no gloves on. And that was from somebody who was like, I'm steering well clear of you on the way in.
But she'll remember that.
Of course.
So if she gets up tomorrow morning and still goes in with all her stuff on, somebody might just trigger that memory of you and she'll relax.
Yeah, and the most beautiful thing about it is, Maxine, I feel the next person that says that they need to go in without a mask on, she won't even ask.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
Yeah, so you've changed her perception rather than her being, but also she will be under her boss as well. So it won't just be her that she's doing it for.
Yeah.
And much as she probably would have said to you, oh, that's fine, if her boss happened to be in the vicinity, it might not have been so easy, because that's like me with my boss.
Yeah.
I deal with customers totally different to him. I have a good laugh with them. You know, of course we can. Yes, I've got a pen.
Oh, really?
When this whole thing first started, somebody asked for a pen, and I went and got a pen, and he went, no, because of the illness, we couldn't lend a pen. So when I finished, I went home. I've got thousands of pens everywhere, and I went and put a pot of pens on the lottery stand. And if anybody asked for a pen, I said, yes, there's some there. And straight away he said, I hope they're not our pens. I went, no, they're not, they're mine. From my house. I went and fetched them because there's something insanely wrong with you that you wouldn't lend somebody a pen. But it's the same when people come in. We have such a laugh, and I will go out my way to make them feel that the whole thing of coming to the post office is great. Whereas if he's there, I'm still a little bit, you know, because he'll come in my ear and say, why do you do that? We won't make any money off that. Well, I'm not being full of, I'm not here to make money. I'm here to bring joy to these people.
Yeah.
You know, you make the money. I get my minimum wage, love, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it's making it an experience for people, isn't it?
Yeah. You know? But if he's there, I'm aware that there is tension. So for that lady, she's not the boss. She's taking your blood, and she's doing exactly what she's been told to do. When now she might feel able to say no to something that she doesn't want to do.
Yeah. Because
her boss says.
Yeah.
And it's just little droplets, isn't it?
Yeah.
That make life easier for them.
And what was so interesting is, I mean, they took so much blood out of me. They took so much blood. Bearing in mind they were going to send me, I can't even do it myself, but they said they were going to send me this thing where I pricked my finger and put my own blood in and stuff, and they would test it that way. And I'm like, okay, if you only need a pinprick from there, how come you've just taken 3 vials out of my arm? Like, I mean, I know my blood's precious, but you know, like,
be amazing what they'll do with that.
It's crazy though, right? I need to check, actually, talking of blood, because I actually have quite a rare blood type. No surprise. And I would like to donate blood, but obviously where I had a blood transfusion before, I believe it was like 2 years or something that you couldn't donate blood for, but I just need to check and validate that, because I honestly, whoever it was, I had 3 bags of blood, whoever that came from, they saved my life.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
That's the reality of it. They saved my life, and I would love to give that gift back to somebody else, because I mean, now obviously I've had it brought into my consciousness that there are other alternatives that you can ask for and other things that you can do. But at that critical point, by those beautiful souls donating, I'm still alive.
Yeah.
And I would love to give that gift back. Yeah.
God, no, that's amazing. Yeah. Really, my friend gives blood all the time.
Well, my veins are amazing. Honestly, whenever I go in, they're like, oh, I love that. And they're like, oh, look at that one. And I'm like, yeah, all right, just take it, you know?
Oh, God, yeah. No, my friend donates blood because when her daughter was, I think, 2, she desperately needed blood. And so from that day on, she did it. But she says, isn't it awful that it took that happening to my daughter for me to realise I could give blood and give something back? Instead of just waking up one day and going, do you know what, I need to donate. Yeah. And I said, well, that's human.
Yeah, but what's very interesting is I always wanted to do it, but I was always too busy to do it. And then obviously my experience really humbled me. But they said to me I couldn't give blood after that. So, but I do know that there is probably a period of time that I couldn't give blood for. And I've got it in my head as 2 years. I don't know why. So I just need to validate that, because I would really, really like to do that. I really would. Especially now. I'm almost tempted to put some of my own blood on ice as well.
Really?
Well, would you want to take someone's blood right now? Like, you wouldn't know where it's come from.
No, I don't trust the whole concept of it now at all.
I'm just like, honestly, I'm grateful.
I'm going to come and stay with you, aren't I? And there's going to be vials of your blood in the fridge. Help yourself, Maxine. Oh, thanks ever so much. It's safe, it's Lucy's.
I just feel that it's a very interesting thought process that's been going on with me recently, you know, because I don't feel anything like that is going to happen again, which is amazing. But what if during childbirth?
Yeah.
Or, you know, like, it's just.
Yeah, let's just make our own bottles.
You know me, darling, it doesn't normally come up if it's...
I've got a couple of these. We'll fill these.
When you come down, we'll just link ourselves up. Oh, I love it. I love it. We are so weird.
We're just so in tune, aren't we, love?
It's so bloody weird. Oh, bloody.
See? It's just non-stop.
I just amuse myself. Something rotten. So
that's why you needed that apartment.
I know.
Because it doesn't matter if nobody gets you. You've got the whole apartment to be as freaky as you like.
Exactly. Yeah. And actually, I feel compared to most people, I'm quite normal, but they haven't quite realised.
Yeah. I think there's a bit of catching up to do for some. And I'm definitely not, but hey ho.
For one. So let me share this other thing that I really wanted to share with you, because it was hilarious, right? I actually had a really good day on Saturday, and if any of the girls that I was out with on Saturday are watching, I love you. We had such a giggle. So I went up to London. We went for this really amazing food. We went for a walk. I ended up trying some nut ice cream. So it was non-dairy vegan ice cream, and it was like a Mr. Whippy kind of thing. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Like, it was so amazing. And it was made out of almonds and cashews. And I was just in awe of it. Anyway, it was freezing cold, and I was like, but I have to try it. So anyway, we had a great day. I ended up getting back to the train station. I think I just missed a train. So I must have got to the train station at about 10 past, 12 minutes past 7. So the next train was at 20 to 8, and I had this beautiful experience there, which is why I know that I was delayed. Like, I helped a blind couple, a man who was blind, and his wife who was looking after him a little bit, and beautiful things like that. But the interesting thing about it is, Maxine, is my journey home was hilarious. So I'm sat on the train, and they announced that it's only 4 carriages. And I thought, well, that's weird. I've never been on a train that's 4 carriages ever. Like, they've always got about 12. And I thought, oh, this is going to be busy. Whew. So I'm sat there minding my own business, and these 3 girls come in. I'm going to call them girls. They're probably maybe 5 years younger than me. One of them sits directly opposite me, and she's completely compos mentis. She's good as gold. One girl slouches in the seat, and she's like this. Her eyelashes hanging off. She's literally wasted, right? And she's got this not KFC, what's the place? Nando's bag, empty Nando's bag. And I'm like, whatever. Like, I'm not even taking it on. And there's this other girl that kind of sits next to me, but 1 seat apart. So we had a seat between us. And she's kind of like slumped and got her head back like this. Again, makeup everywhere, just totally gone. Anyway, the one sat next to me has just got her head back, and she's just asleep, right? The one across from her is like, I don't feel well. As the train's moving, I don't feel well. And the next thing I know, she's got the freaking paper Nando's bag, and she's being sick in this bag, right? And I'm thinking...
I don't do puke.
Firstly, I don't do puke. I'm no good at it, right? They tell me it's different when it's your own child, but I'm not sure I'll cope with it. I'll probably be like, someone take it. Anyway,
I've had 2. No, thank you.
First thing, I don't do puke. Second thing, right, is I'm sat there thinking, okay, now I was never this bad, but this used to be me. I would be getting on what I used to call the vomit comet every night on the way out of London. And I always used to call it the vomit comet, because everybody would be howling, either blind drunk or vomiting, right? Always the way, literally always the way. And some of the train drivers were hilarious. They'd like announce it and things like that. It was hilarious. But predominantly me, back in the day when I worked in corporate, I would be on the vomit comet, okay? And I'm sat here respectfully, no alcohol in my system, with these people vomiting at 20 to 8 in the evening, okay? So this is the girl who I now know what her name is, but I'm not going to say it just in case she ever sees this video, because she said to me, please don't ever tell anyone. I was like, don't worry, love, I don't have many followers. I promise I won't. Sorry about that, if you ever watch this. And then the girl next to me, she was like, all of a sudden she went, I need to sit there, and just pointed and launched herself in between the other two, picks up the bag where it's already dripping because it's a paper bag, and she just vomits everywhere. And I'm like, get me off this goddamn train.
I really need to get up back now. I can see it.
I'm like, get me off this train. Anyway,
I can't even stand the noise of puke.
I know,
Never mind.
Trust me, it was awful. So there's a girl over here, and I look at her, and she's like pissing herself laughing. Like, I'm kind of like trying to hide it because these girls are blatantly sick. She's giggling her socks off. Anyway, the guy here gets off the train. So the one that threw herself over at the other chair goes and hides behind this girl who's laughing. She's not laughing for long when she's just vomiting behind her constantly, right? And then I'm like, what's that noise? What's the word I'm looking for? The 4 seats in front of the girl that's laughing. There's another person there being sick into a plastic bag.
Oh no. Oh, at least she had a plastic bag. Oh no.
In this tiniest compartment of a train, and I'm like, why? How has this happened? Like, what on earth is going on? And I'm just roaring. Thankfully, it didn't smell. Thankfully, because that would have been me. I would have been off. I
can actually smell it. When you said puke, straight away I got the smell.
Yeah.
Whew, thank you. Take that away.
So what happened is the sober one of the 3 of them eventually got the other 2 off the train, but she was staying on to my stop. So I said to her, looks like you've had a good day. And she was like, oh, we've had the best day, but it just got completely out of hand. They basically went to a bottomless brunch. On the way in on the train at 10:30 in the morning, they started drinking. They got to the bottomless brunch at 12 o'clock, and they had literally free everything the whole time they were there. And they had a bit of pizza, is what she said. They had a bit of pizza.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, so cheese and puke. God. Yeah.
So that's like 4.5 hours of boozing anyway, just there, right? And then 5.5 hours, 4.5 hours. And then the next thing, they decide to stay on. So they pay extra money to stay on, and then they have to pay for their drinks on top. And she was like, it's got really messy. They were doing shots, they were doing Prosecco, they were having vodka, they were having cocktails, they were having gin. And just at the thought of this, I'm like, ugh. Yeah. Now, what was so interesting, right? What is so interesting is I used to be like that. And I'm not judging these girls. It looked like they had the best time ever. What was going through my head when I was around these 2 girls, and they were beautiful girls that were totally, totally wasted, was how easy it would be for anybody or anything to harm them. Yeah. And that's what really, really hit me, was any entity could have jumped in, any shadow could have jumped in, any person, if they didn't have that friend looking after them, any person could have taken their money or taken their phone or anything, because they had no clue.
I've done it. I've done it myself, and I've walked back for miles and miles with one shoe on, the other one slung over my shoulder because it's strapped. My bag's sort of dragging across the floor, and I literally cannot see.
We were a bit like
somebody must have been
Brighton.
I was quite sober. I didn't fall off the bed like Donna with a silky dress.
I know.
I was running around giving everybody water. No, I mean, I put myself in situations where realistically I shouldn't be alive.
Yeah.
But I have obviously been looked after because I'm still here. But when I think about it now, which is why when people say, oh, we're off out, you know, and they're in their 20s, I go, just remember, you got to get home.
Yeah.
So when it gets to that bit where you're struggling to stand, just remember, you've got to get home.
Absolutely. And really
stick together.
Because this is, I mean, I ended up laughing because this girl got the girls off the train, and they seemed a little bit more compass mentis. One of their mums were picking them up. The other one's husband was picking them up.
Oh, good Lord.
I know, right? Imagine. And
he must know her.
They were literally zigzagging and bumping into each other as they were walking along, because I was roaring. I was watching them out the train window, and I'm like, have you seen these 2? And they were literally just bumping into each other and whatever. But, you know, it's like I say, thankfully one of them one of them was compos mentis. And, you know, it's just very, very important. I think it's an important message right now. Like, I'm choosing not to drink alcohol right at this precise moment in time because, you know, we are so susceptible to things taking place. I'm not saying I'm not going to drink alcohol or I won't have a glass of alcohol or something like that, but just right now I'm just nurturing and looking after me because, you know, we are at war.
I haven't had an alcoholic drink since I think the first lockdown. Was my birthday in May. We had a glass of wine, just one, but I chose not to drink after that because, like you say, there's just a little bit too much there.
And
so I'm not risking it.
People realise how low vibrational alcohol is and where it puts you. You know, and it's just very important that we acknowledge that and we just recognise it. And just remember, if you do go out drinking, just go and cleanse yourself, have a salt bath, you know, do things like that and just take care. Just take care of yourself. But honestly, Maxine, I was roaring. It was like looking at me and my old best friend, you know, but obviously it wasn't us. It was just very, very interesting. And I'm glad that I saw it because I wouldn't ever want to be in that mess again.
Oh God, no, I couldn't. No. I mean, I still don't know. Somebody must have said, you know, it's not your time because I put myself in some really dangerous situations through alcohol. I mean, now I see girls coming out the pub, you know, and they're drunk, but they're giggling, but they're together. Because obviously I'm standing at the kitchen and there's a pub across the road. I mean, I'm surrounded by trees now because I can't see them. But in the autumn, I see them coming out, but they're together. And they're giggling. I think that's the perfect night. But when you're zigzagging and puking and you can't see properly, you know, that's the frightening bit. I mean, apart from the fact that you're going to waste about 4 days trying to get over that, because that's how long it takes.
Well, you don't seem to be impacted so much when you're younger, do you? You seem to be able to bounce back from these things. I mean, I got spiked once. I was in Blackfriars in London straight after work. Thankfully, my best friend came to meet me and I got spiked. Literally, I couldn't walk. She literally had to pick me up and put me in a taxi and get me back to where I was staying because I was so wasted. And I'd had like 2 sips of wine, and back then I was more of a 3 bottles. Kind of girl. Not that proud of that, but that was what I was like, you know. And I was wasted. I felt wretched. I felt really awful. So please, can we just keep our wits about us? Please, can we just, you know, like make sure. I know we're in September, and it feels way too hot to be having this discussion, but Christmas is around the corner. You know, if for any reason we're not in our prison cells called our homes, just be really conscious that, you know, people do silly things and there is a lot of low vibrational activity taking place on the planet, and we just need to be really, really careful of that.
Well, we're awaiting an update from Barista, aren't we? He's putting together a plan.
Oh, really? So
yes, for the next for when the weather changes, which is Thursday. Which he knew it was going to be Thursday because he bloody planned it. So yes, we should hear something from Barista next week because he's back at work now.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, somebody being Boris is back at work, is all I'll say. Yeah. So yes, watch this space.
Yeah. So I feel end of this month, next month, we're going to go back in, but I almost feel it's going to be for a different reason.
So do I. I've thought that because I don't think he can use that excuse again. I think it's going to be something totally different.
Yeah.
But if you remember this, you said this in when we were in Brighton.
Oh, did I?
So that's going back a long time.
2018.
And, when we were sitting around the table and we were giggling about something, you said I had to make the most because I'd just joined the business, hadn't I? Make the most of it because in a couple of years' time, you won't have this. You'll literally just have social media. And even that might go. And I'm thinking, what on earth is she talking about? But I wrote it down.
I don't remember that at all. So I'm so glad.
Nobody else listened to you. They thought you were nuts and went, whatever. And I'm thinking, write this down when you get home because that struck a chord with me.
Wow.
And this was 2018. You said, because in a couple of years.
March 2018.
You won't have the.
We were in Brighton together in March 2018 for sure. I'll never forget that. It was such a fun weekend.
And then we locked out March 2020. So the month. Yeah, which is why I said there's something about bloody March in this woman.
Yeah.
Because there's something happened in March 2019. I have to check that one. I can't remember what happened in March 2019.
I don't even remember what happened this year, let alone 2019, mate.
But you did say, and then also you have said about the next lockdown would not necessarily be because of this, it would be because of something found.
Yes.
And also
I think
the London Bridge.
Yeah. I think that's coming a little bit later.
Oh, right.
That's what I'm feeling at the moment. But I do feel that there's going to be an announcement that kind of like, that's still all going to happen. I know it is.
Yeah, well, the London Bridge thing, I think, is imminent.
Yeah.
Yeah, very. Because it's being dropped out too easily now.
Yeah, and also they're talking about the Queen passing now, aren't they? There's been a lot of leaked information about the Queen passing, and actually London Bridge has fallen.
London Bridge is down.
Is down. Yeah, London Bridge is down.
London Bridge is down is for her death.
It's for her death, yeah. Absolutely. So it's
London Bridge has fallen was what was that one? Wasn't that Philip? It was something like that.
I don't know.
London Bridge is down is hers, yeah.
Right, okay. So yeah. So we've got a lot going on, haven't we?
And then we've got Charles's aide has now been spilling the beans, hasn't he? You know, the original Prince Charles, his aide is now spilling the beans.
Oh, amazing.
Not the one we have now who doesn't have alcoholic rosy cheeks, you know, and perfect skin and no lines. Yeah. Yes, he started coming out and saying things. Who else came out? Somebody else came out in the news. I can't think. But yeah, so what was never said on the news is now starting to come out.
Good.
In mainstream media. So that's how we know it's about to erupt.
Oh, it's getting spicy. It's getting spicy. I'm so excited.
It's all good.
Oh, Maxine, you're so good for my soul. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It has been amazing to chat to you again today, my love. I look forward to it.
Well, it's amazing to watch an episode of Baywatch.
I can't even remember the song, but yeah, you know
it. Boys over there. David Hasselhoff singing a song. Good God.
Oh my God. Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
I certainly don't have the cleavage for Pamela Anderson.
Well, I don't know. At least yours are real.
Too true. Anyway, let's not go there because we know that there's people watching constantly.
Yeah.
Right, ladies and gents, thank you so much for being here. Do remember to share and like this video and comment below. And both Maxine and I, now I've shown her how to see the comments, we will come back to you. Okay, guys, we will see you next week. Lots of love to you. Take care. Bye.